So we have to find out the truth values of the condition that is P and Q are R in order to find out the current flows from the terminal that is A into B. So this is the truth table. So in this truth table, so we have to assume the three conditions of the three statements, one as P, the other as Q, the third one as the R, under the columns 1, 2 and as well as 3, and the remaining columns are of 4 and as well as 5. But whereas under the column number 4, so we have to find out as per the condition that is P and Q are. First of all, let us find out the statement that is P and Q. Then later, after finding the statement that is P and Q, let us find out overall that is P and Q are. So when we assume a single statement, the statement may be either true or false, but not both. When we assume the statements as 2, that is P and as well as Q, the possibilities will be of 4. Both the statements may be of true and both may be of false. If one is true, the other will be of false. When we assume the first statement as false, then the next statement will be of true. But here we have assumed 3 statements P, Q and R, so therefore the possibilities will be of 8. So here easiest way of reminding the 8 possibilities is of. So here out of 8, the half of the 8 is of 4. So first of all, let us assume the 4 truth values of the statement P as true and the remaining 4 as falses. So first 4 truth values of the statement P are of true and the next 4 are of falses. Then now, to write the truth values, to assume the truth values of the condition or the statement Q. So here in the first case we have assumed 4 truths and 4 falses. So half of the 4 is of 2. So here let us assume 2 truths and 2 falses for the truth values of the condition that is true, that is Q, or in other words the statement that is Q. So here in the similar manner, let us write the 2 truth values as true and the 2 truth values as false in the remaining case also. Under the column number 2, that is the statement Q. Then under the statement that is R, in order to assume the truth values, so in the previous case we have assumed 2 truths and 2 falses. So here half of the 2 is of 1. So let us assume 1 true and 1 false, and similarly and so on. So these are the 8 possibilities of assuming the truth values of the statements P, Q and as well as R. But whereas in the next column we have to find out P and R, the connective of the statements P and as well as Q is of N. So therefore it will come under the conjunction. So here we have to find out the conjunction of these 2 statements, that is P and as well as Q. But the condition of the conjunction is of, if the first statement is of true and the second statement Q is also of true, therefore the conjunction also will be of true. So here P lies under the column number 1 and Q lies under the column number 2. So we have to see under columns 1 and as well as 2 in order to find out the conjunction, that is P and as well as Q. But both the truth values of 2 statements P and Q must be of true, then only the condition, the conjunction will be of true. So here P and Q, so here T and T, truth values are of true, therefore the conjunction is also of true. And the second case also, so both are of true, therefore the conjunction also will be of true. So here one is of true and the other is of false. So similarly T and F, F and T, F and T, F and F and F and F. So in no way it is possible here, therefore the remaining truth values of the other conditions will be of false only. Then now here in the last column we have to find out P and Q are R. So here R indicates so R is the connective between the 2 statements, that is P and Q and as well as R. So here it will come under the disjunction. So in order to find out the disjunction, the first statement, that is P and Q, must be of false, and similarly the statement that is R also must be of false. Therefore the disjunction will be of false. So here P and Q lies under the column number 4 and R will lie under the column number 3. So we have to see under the column numbers 3 and as well as 4 in order to find out the disjunction of these 2 statements. So here both the statements must be of false, then only the disjunction will be of false. So in this manner we have to see for F and F in order to get F as the disjunction. So F and F is not possible in anywhere here, whereas in the fourth row, the truth value of the R is false and the truth value of the P and Q is also false, therefore the disjunction will be of false. And here next one, that is 6th column, so 6th row, the truth value is of R is false and the truth value of P and Q is also of false, therefore the disjunction also will be of false. Then the last row, truth values, both the truth values of the conditions or the statements are of false. So here therefore the truth value will be of, therefore the disjunction will be of false, whereas the remaining all will be of true. But whereas here we know that as per the condition which we have stated, when we get, in case of the last column, that is P and Q are R, when we get the truth value as true, then only the current flows from the terminals, that is A into B. So here the current flows in first three cases, and since it is F, so therefore in this case the current does not flows from A to B, whereas in the next case it flows from A to B, and similarly in the next case it is not possible, and the last but one it flows from A to B, then in the last one the current does not flows. So here the current flows in 5 cases. So here let us write the 5 cases, but here we know that, so here when P is of true, so here it is understood that, so P is closed. So in case if it is of false, so it is understood that R is open. So here in the first case the current flows when P is closed and Q is closed and R is also closed. Similarly in the second case, so when P is closed, Q is closed and R is open. So similarly let us write the remaining also. So in this manner the next logical step will be off. The current flows from terminals A to B when the first case is off, whereas in the first case the current is flowing in the first place when all the 3 switches are of closed, because the truth values are of true. So here we know that when the truth value is of true, so it is understood that the switch is closed. So here in the first case when P is closed, when Q is closed, and as well as R is also closed. Then in the next case, whereas as per the truth table the current flows even in the next case, that is the second case. So in the second case P is closed and Q is closed, when R is open then only the current flows from A to B. So here P must be closed, Q is closed and R is open. And whereas in the next case, that is the third case, also the current flows from A to B when P is closed and Q is open and R is closed again. So P is closed, Q is open and R is again closed. And as per the condition or as per the truth table, the current flows in the fifth case, that is P must be open and remaining 2 switches must be closed. So this is the fifth case. So in case of the fifth case, so P must be open and Q is closed and R is also closed. And whereas it flows in the seventh one, so in the seventh case, so in first two switches P and Q must be open because it is of F, and only R must be closed. So P is open and Q is open and R must be closed. So in this regard, then only the current flows from the terminals, that is A into B.